how the Retrieval-Augmented Generation helps in cybersecurity. RAG can be a smart assistant, not to be confused with a dumb assistant, right? That helps you find and use fresh, relevant security knowledge fast. Retrieval. Look up relevant knowledge. RAG can be connected to CVE databases. CVE stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. CVE databases, exploit databases like ExploitDB, OAuth guidelines, internal docs, test results, or prior pen testing reports. Ooh, look at that one. So prior reports that somebody might like, let's say there's a collection of different penetration testing reports, internal docs, testing results. It can scan all those. Cybersecurity blogs or threat feeds. When you ask something like, what was the latest known vulnerabilities in Apache server from May 2025? RAG will search those sources in real time and pull the most relevant findings. So that's step one. Step two, generation. Write useful summaries or answers. Then RAG writes a clear, usable answer summarizing what it found. Based on recent CVEs from May 2025, Apache HTTP server version 2.4.58 has a critical path traversal vulnerability, allowing remote code execution. Patches are available, recommended mitigation, including updating to 2.4.59 and disabling directory listings. Real world use for RAG for a pen tester. Use case for reconnaissance, right? What RAG does, you ask, what are common misconfigurations in AWS S3 buckets? Ooh, that's a very good one. RAG pulls examples, recent breaches, cases, and mitigation steps. Exploit research. You input details of a target system. RAG finds known exploits, POCs, and versions affected. Ferris, what is POC in cybersecurity terms, right? What is a POC in cybersecurity terminology? Report writing. You ask, summarize this finding with references to OWASP standards. RAG writes a clean paragraph with citations. Oh, with citations as well. Get out of here. Training and simulation. RAG can help simulate phishing emails, generate social engineering scenarios, or write mock CTF challenges. Threat intelligence. It fetches and summarizes real-time threat feeds, APT behavior, or malicious IOCs, indicators of compromise. What could go wrong? If retrieval is from insecure or outdated sources, the answer could be misleading. If the system isn't tuned well, it may miss key context like environment-specific information. Without human validation, false positives or irrelevant exploits could slip in. In summary, RAG gives cybersecurity pros like you, yes, like you, only you can be a cybersecurity pro, faster access to critical info, real-time summaries from trusted sources, help in writing, research, and red teaming. Built like any tool, it needs good data sources and human judgment to be effective in real-world offensive security. Want a working example RAG app for ethical hacking? Sure. I'm going to say yes. And while it's doing its thing, I'm going to throw something out there, right? Yes. Let's go with yes. So here's something that I'm thinking as well, right? If you have your RAG, let's say you have N8N, right? And you have your RAG, and you say every morning, 6 a.m., go and update to the latest version of the database, your different sources, get the latest information, right? So that's news, that's database updates, check for new updates, whatever, right? And once you get that update, you process it. Now you go and you scan all of our systems on a daily basis to see if we have any vulnerabilities that are related to anything new that was pulled in, right? So you kind of have a nodemation happening where you say, all right, trigger at this time, and then go and check. Now, once you have the information, go check our systems, right? So this is all right. Absolutely, let's delve into a practical example of how retrieval-augmented generation can be utilized in cybersecurity environments, specifically by professionals specializing in ethical hacking penetration testing. Real-world example using RAG in penetration testing. All right. Imagine you're an ethical hacker tasked with assessing a client's web application for vulnerabilities. Here's how RAG can assist. Information retrieval. Before initiating the penetration test, you need to gather the latest information on known vulnerabilities, exploits, or and security best practices. A RAG system. Query up-to-date databases. Access access sources like the National Vulnerability Database, NVD, exploit DB, and OAuth guidelines to fetch recent vulnerabilities relevant to the technologies used by the target application. Retrieve internal documentation, pull in previous penetration testing reports, uh, internal security policies, and system architecture documents to understand the context better. So after it does that, it's going to generate insights with the retrieved information from RAG systems, summarize vulnerabilities, provide concise explanation on how specific vulnerabilities such as SQL ingestions, cross-scripting can affect the application, including potential impact and severity, suggest testing strategies, recommend specific tools and techniques for to test for these vulnerabilities, such as SQL map or SQL injection or Burp Suite for web application testing. Generate custom payloads. Create tailored payloads to test the application input validation mechanism effectively. Next up is reporting. After conducting these tests, automated report generation, the RAG system can assist in drafting comprehensive reports, summarizing findings, and suggesting remediation steps, all aligned with the industry standards like OAuth Top 10. Tools leveraging RAG in cybersecurity. Several tools and frameworks have integrated RAG to enhance penetration tests. Nebula, open source tool that integrates AI models into the command line interface, streamlining vulnerability assessment and automating reconnaissance tasks. Okay. Morse, a mixture of RAG security experts. Interesting. A specialized AI chatbot for cybersecurity that uses RAG to retrieve and organize information from various cybersecurity contexts, aiding in accurate and up-to-date responses. Considerations and limitations. While RAG offers significant advantages, be mindful of these challenges. Data quality. So if you don't have good quality, it's going to suck. Timelessness, ensuring the retrieval sources are up to date, especially in rapidly evolving field of cybersecurity. Interpretation, human oversight is necessary to interpret the AI-generated suggestion correctly and to make informed decisions during penetration testing. By integrating RAG into your penetration testing workflow, you can enhance efficiency, stay up to date with the latest threat, and produce more comprehensive assessments. If you're interested in exploring these tools further, all right, cool, awesome. Let's go ahead and do this. How can I build out a ethical hacking RAG using N8N? So you can absolutely build ethical hacking RAG system using N8N, a no-code, low-code workflow automation, nodemation. Especially, I'm happy Mr. Freckles gone because I would have got attention because I said N8N. It's nodemation. You see, oh my, Junior. I almost got myself in trouble.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Lucky for me that Mr. Freckles had Bible study because I would have been in detention. Because especially when paired with powerful apps, powerful APIs like OpenAI, CVE databases, or custom knowledge bases. Here's a step-by-step guide to building your own RAG-style assistant for ethical hacking and penetration testing using N8N. Let's see. A workflow that takes a query like what vulnerabilities exist in Apache HTTP server, retrieve data from external sources like CVE databases or exploit DB, sends that retrieved data to GPT-4 or Cloud or Mistral via the OpenAI or other node. Let's see. Return a clean summary and recommendation. Step by step. All right, so 10 minutes. You guys want to try to build this? You want to start building this? Why not? Let's start building this. I am going to take this to the other screen. That way I can see both at the same time. All right, so we're gonna go to go over here. Where's my mouse? There we go. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go. That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go here like that. We're gonna go. There we go. Perfect. So we have. All right. Let me go and do a new workflow. Save this workflow. So new workflow. I said, all right. So let's get started. So we're gonna do a web node. You're gonna see how easy, like, because when I was originally thinking about doing this, like, all right, use a whole bunch of Python. I'm like, let me not do Python tonight. But let's do a webhook node. And for external calls from your own front end, manual trigger for setting inside N8N. So let's do a manual trigger, because I don't have a place to make a call for it yet. But if let's say in our system we're like we have an endpoint that says, all right, once they hit this endpoint to say start, it starts the workflow. So we could definitely do that. We can definitely do a so when clicking test workflow, so if I click test workflow, it's going to kick it off, right? And you can also, so you can do it through the web node. You can do it through the web hook node, right? Where it's getting pinged and says, all right, start this off. You can do it manually, or you can do it through like a Slack or Telegram bot where you like send a message to the Slack channel or to at I don't know, CyberRag, and then kicks it off. Step 2, take the, let me see if I can make this a little smaller. It's kind of big. Step 2, use one or more of these. HTTP request node to pull from CV API. Scrape or use exploit DB if needed. If they don't have an API, use Nodemation's Puppeteer node to scrape search results or public RSS. Option C. Query internal docs or a vector DB, which I believe there is a database that we could use for that. If you have your own notes, recon reports, or cheat sheets, store them in Weavate, Pinecone, or Chroma, and call them from Nodemation using custom HTTP requests, right? So for now, let's go with this HTTP node. Request node. And let's see. Let's say we do, I'm gonna guess it's a get request. And let's see, test step. The node contains 3.8 megabytes of data. Displaying it may slow down your browser temporarily. Ooh, do I want to slow down my browser? What if I do download? Let's download this file just so we can see what's inside of it. It's a JSON. Let me see what we got. Can I open it in? Let's go with WebStorm, I guess. So here's what's part of the download, right? It has all these vulnerabilities. Oops. Has all these vulnerabilities. And it has that response. We can save it somewhere, right? So let's say we have that. I don't want to display the data per se. All right, so we got that. So we have the query. Combine the results. Use merge node to bring together all the different document results. Is there any other document result we can get? Scraper use exploit DB. So what is exploit DB? To scrape search results or public RSS feeds. Let's see what the Puppeteer node is. I don't see a Puppeteer node. Okay, maybe not. But you see, look at that. It even has WhatsApp Business Cloud access. Like there's so many different things in N8N, right? And I have it running locally at that. So let's see. Let's see. Step 3, combine the results. Step 4, send to GPT or LLM APIs. So let's try this one. We don't really need to do a merge because we only have one thing. But what we could do is we don't need to combine. Let's add a HTTP request. And we are going to say post. And I need to get OpenAI's information. Where do I have that? I used a different one actually. I don't know. But let's say we were to pass in this authentication here. We would get the OpenAI endpoint, which I have in a different project. And you can import export files too with this, and they have templates as well. Let me see if I can get the OpenAI API key. This GPT is free. Well, this GPT is free. The GPT that would be used inside of these requests is not free. That is those use API keys, and I get to choose the model that I wanted to use. Let's see if I can get some information. All right, so we're gonna use this right here. I don't think that is the credential. So it's a bearer token. I think I have OpenAI one in there. I do. There we go. Boom. So we have that. And then we do, that.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Well, the other thing that we need to do is the other thing that we would do, go to quick start, is I don't like this particular prompt because it doesn't have the what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't have the system prompt in there, but you know, because what we want to do is pass this code in here. Oh, I said use the open AI node though. We could try open AI node instead of the, because in my project I was using the HTTP node. But let's say we delete that and we say open AI, and we go to let's go to message model, and we're going to say text message model prompt, and we go here, message model prompt, boom, and search results. So the search results are, all right, I gotta show the data, although I didn't want to. I have to show the data so that I can be able to get that saved field. Yeah. It's a pretty big, it's a three point something megabytes is pretty big to open in the browser, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Okay, so we have that, right? Or see that? Let's wait for it. All right, there you go. So what I'm gonna do now is wait for it to stop freeze. Wait for it to stop freezing. What just happened here? Just deleted my node. Let's go with message model. Let's go with and here's the thing, like once you actually do this, it becomes it starts making a lot more sense. Let's go with GPT 4.0 mini. If this crashes, then so be it. But the goal would be to get the response for this and then put it into here. I don't know. This is where the generation part of RAG happens. Usually the retrieved info to generate a helpful response. All right. I'll put the answer, Slack, Discord, Telegram. But it is kind of shaky because it's a big file. It's like 4 megs of just straight data. That's a lot. That is a lot. It's freezing the browser, so there's not much you can do about that. What's up, Maddox? How are you doing today, Maddox? I can't get it in there. But basically what I wanted to do was take those results that it passed and put them inside of this message field, and then send that over to GPT to see what it tells us. Whatever. But that's basically the code that we would use to get it in there. All right. Well, that's as far as we're gonna get because it's freezing our browser. Just because it's a lot of data, so we'd have to do it a different way. But we are on. Maybe we'll continue with this next Thursday. But we're basically working on towards creating a RAG, a retrieval augmented generation platform using N8N Nodemation. Almost got sent to detention again, right? But it is what it is. It is what it is. But
people watch as the clock ticks by, but I'm the storm in the endless sky. I'll climb the mountain, no matter the slope. Fueled by hunger, fueled by hope.
They sit and watch as the clock just spins, but I'm out here chasing where it begins. I don't need luck, I don't need a sign, just a fire in my soul and a dream that's mine.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky.
I'm betting it all, no second glance. Got fire in my soul, I'll take the chance. No time for sitting, no time to stall. The world is spinning, I'll have it all.
They say the world just turns and waits, but I've got no time for those debates. The fire in my chest, it burns so bright. I'll take the dark and turn it to light. All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky. No retreat, no looking back. I'll carve my name on this beaten track. They'll say I dream too wild, too bold, but I'll write my story in lines of gold.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the skies. And touch the skies. No fear in losing, no time to doubt. Every whisper, I'll drown it out. I'll rise higher with every stride. The flame of passion, my only guide.